So all I'm doing really is just coming down in here and trimming whatever meat I can get off of this thing. But like I said, you don't want to take too much off. You won't have anything to have it dry into. So I'm almost going to call this good. Get down in here and remove that. So as you can see now, that center bone I was talking about, you can see it right here. See it wiggling? Flip it over here. It's actually going to be connected. See, as you see, as I push down on this front piece, you can see this tail fan actually start to go. Let's see here, there we go. As I push down in front of this, you can see the tail fan actually moving up a little bit. So, might want to remove that. I'm going to remove this little hunk of meat here. And I'm just going to go through and do the same thing on the front side that I did on the back, just removing the meat. So there's our turkey fan. Cleaned it up nice. As you can see, it's nice and loose as you move it. Backside, cleaned all the way down to that little bone here in the back. So I think we're about ready to pin it down. Alright, so now that I've got this turkey fan all cleaned up and ready to be mounted, we're going to pin it down. So we've got the borax ready to go. First steps are, number one, you always want to pin this front side facing forward. So and really what that means is you want to do it so you can see what the finished product is going to look like. I've done a couple the other way, and it might be a little bit easier to pin down doing it from the back side, but I found they turn out a little bit nicer looking if you do it this way. So what we're going to do is take these pins, like I said, and just start pinning it down. Challenge with that centerpiece is that we're going to want to go right on past it and pin that first one in there. So there's your first pin. So you want to go, what I'm saying is you want to go right past that first center, almost like tailbone of the turkey. If you can, that didn't go. And you will find that the more you put in, the easier this is going to be. Definitely getting into it and having it stay down. Start from the center and work your way to the side here is probably the best way to do it. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually start out by the or the side of the tail fan, pin it down. So I'm not actually going through the meat here, but I'm going to pin it down until it's about straight. And when I say straight, I mean straight across here. And you want to lay these feathers out exactly the way you want to have them. So even when you get into the overlapping, see this one here needs to overlap a little bit more. You want to have it exactly the way you want it to end up. So this is going to be a beautiful mount, I can tell you that much. Got a lot of chocolate colored or caramel colored Easterns, but this one is, now that I can see it with the white background, it's definitely a hybrid bird. When I say hybrid, it's not a pure Merriam. Most people would say, oh, you know, whatever, it's a white tip tail bird, but for me, I'm on my way for the Grand Slam here. So next time I go up, I'll be a little bit more picky and try to pick out one that's a pure white tip Merriam. But for me, it's not bad. It's a gorgeous looking bird. So as you can see here, as I push down, you can see the top of that tail fan needs to be pinned a little bit more. Find where that top fan is, so you can see that line here. I'll just come up in here and literally pin that down sideways. There we go. So now that when you push here, that fan is pinned down nice and tight. And just keep in mind you want to keep your spacing. And when I say spacing, what I'm talking about is the spacing up around the top, you want each feather to have its own space. So you don't want them too overlapped or not overlapped enough. You want them right in the middle so everything's even. You'll be much happier when you come back in 2 weeks after this thing's dried to realize that you did it right. Okay, so one thing I like to do is, you can see I got a bunch of pins in here and they're not necessarily in any real order. And what I'm doing is I'm actually just coming through and finding spots where I can go in between the feather ends. So find that soft spot and go through the stiff feathers, and just put as many as many pins in here as you can. So really all you're doing is just, you're going to load this up with pins so it can't move, and you're going to do that by pinning down the center meaty area of this. You're going to dump that borax on and leave it. And that's what's going to give you that hard turkey mount. And when you come back after a week or two, whenever it is you want to come and check this thing, you're going to realize that the borax is going to make this extremely hard. It's actually going to make it hard enough where the pins are going to be stuck in there really, really well. That's a good thing, because it doesn't take much if you need a set of needle nose pliers or something to get in there and pull them out. But the more you do, the better it usually is. So I usually load this thing up real well. The more you put in here, the less it's going to slide, the less you have to worry that your tail feathers are going to slide one way or the other. But you just want to keep in as many as you feel you need to prevent it from sliding on you. So the more you put in, the better result you're probably going to have. And just keep putting them in. If you have the pins, use them.